The original incarnation of Space Ghost was way back in the 1960s by Alex Toth, and it was more serious than what we're familiar with today, where Space Ghost had powers like flight, super strength, agility, teleportation, invisibility, and some power bands on his wrists that gave him different energy powers and abilities. Despite claims to the contrary, Space Ghost is not a real ghost. In fact, he's only named that because he can turn invisible. Any good superhero has at least one sidekick, but Space Ghost had three, namely Jan and Jace, a couple of young adults, and also Blip, his funky monkey. In the original 1960s show, Space Ghost would fight against villains like Zorak and Moltar, but they would be brought back again later in the 1990s as part of his talk show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. The show would also return for a short stint of just 22 episodes under the name Space Stars in 1981. However, the show people are the most familiar with is Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which came out in 1994, where he would spoof late-night talk shows. In this new iteration, the teen sidekicks and the monkey Blip would be thrown aside for new sidekicks like Zorak and Moltar, with other occasional guest appearances from other villains like Metalis, Lokar, and Brak. The show would become one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows in its Adult Swim lineup, and even spawn a couple musical albums like Space Ghost's Surf and Turf and Space Ghost's Musical Barbecue. Space Ghost would prove so popular that he would be requested to cameo in other shows like Robot Chicken, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and Sealab 2021. Even though the show was animated, it would often feature popular celebrities and athletes. Interestingly, in order to get the interviews for the show, a staff member would often dress up as Space Ghost to ask guests a variety of questions, and then later the show would be written, produced, and animated. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is well known for its surreal humor and hilarious antics, and in the interviews with a wide variety of interesting characters like Conan O'Brien, Willie Nelson, and Hulk Hogan. Space Ghost is loved by fans for a lot of his humorous one-liners like, "I'll be dead long before you were born, and I'll be dead long before you'll be dead." Or, "I have a giant brain that is able to reduce any complex machine into a simple yes or no answer." Or, "Oh boy, the Shatners really hit the fan now. I'm up Dawson's Creek without a paddle." In order to keep production costs low, they often reused old Space Ghost footage as well as old Hanna-Barbera cartoon animations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're in dire need of a Space Ghost reboot, then please click the share button and send it to your friends. If you've had your fill of Space Ghost up until this point in time, then click the comment button and leave a pithy remark below. Hello fellow nerds. Chrononaut, a band of time-traveling nerds, are here to bring you all the lore from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Extended Universe, Star Wars, Pokemon, and more. I hope you'll travel with us to the past and share your ideas with the group on where you think your favorite cinematic, gaming, or comic book universe will go next. Click the link in the description to join us on our adventures. Get early access to new videos every week with 0 ads at chrononaut.com.